he labels his gang as violent and also drug traffickers.
Yeah.
How much drugs? And you know, you worked as a federal agent, like cracking down on shit like this coming across the border, a lot. How much drugs is coming from Venezuela? Like, what they got going on over there? They got some fent, they got some hard white. Like, what they bringing?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's like with the rest of South America. You know, it plays a role in the international drug trafficking, you know, transit system, right? So like whether it's some stuff is manufactured there, transported through there, it's moved through drug trafficking organizations that operate there. But if we're going to be honest, right, the majority of America's drugs come through Mexico nowadays, right? We saw in the 1980s, obviously, a lot was coming in through, you know, Miami, through maritime smuggling. But nowadays, with the sophistication of technology and U.S. Coast Guard, et cetera, and then really taking down these planes, a lot of the drugs now come in through the southwest border through Mexico. So if the goal was to, you know, designate narcos as terrorists, I would argue that there's, you know, organizations in Mexico that move way more drugs than the Venezuelans. And I do think it's also important to note that Maduro was indicted in the U.S. with a bunch of other people in his government for narco trafficking. But if the goal here is to get rid of narco traffickers, you know, Venezuela is not at the top of the list like Mexico is.
I've been watching this show called Homeland, right?
Mm-hmm.
And well, actually, there's two questions. Let me hit you with a follow up, then I'll hit you with the Homeland question. So, I know you said Mexico, but is like, you know, I used to watch Narcos.
Yeah.
Narcos, yeah. It feels like is it the source, not Mexico, but it's just like the one stop right before it gets to the United States, so they don't target Mexico. Like the stuff from Colombia would go to Mexico, then Mexico into the United States because it's just easier. Is that why we don't target Mexico as much, or Mexico basically like they get down with the program when we tell them jump, they say how high?
Yeah, you know, it is a part. It's a combination of things. It is because, you know, Mexico is subservient to us to a degree. If you remember, we had the tariff wars with Mexico, and they ended up caving earlier in the year.
Yeah.
But a big reason why is because they've been trying to get Maduro out of power for a very long time, and him designating, you know, Tren de Aragua and these other drug trafficking organizations as terrorists, and, you know, so that they can get more. Because here's the thing: once you label people terrorists, now you have the full brunt of the, you know, military and the intelligence community helping you out. Right? Because before, when we used to do drug investigations, you would use law enforcement to do that. But once you designate these guys as terrorists, now the FISA courts are open to you. Now the intelligence community is open to you. Now you can actually start using kinetic strikes like they've been doing with these boats, right? So you get a lot more latitude and power to make things happen. Now, when it comes to Mexico, they kind of, you know, operate under our authority to a degree. So like they're not the same. They're not as how do I say this? They follow us much more than Venezuela does. So to me, I look at it this like, you know, designating them from the drug perspective as an FTO, it was kind of a way to purposely be able to ramp up escalations, right, to try to stimulate some type of effect. Because at the end of the day, they want Maduro out. And any way that they can do that, they're going to do that, right? Whether it's us taking their oil, you know, seizing a couple of these freighter ships that have been coming out of Venezuela, trying to cripple them financially, the airstrikes that we're currently doing right now as we speak, bombing these boats. They've been trying to escalate now for a bit.
Hey, so I watch a show called Homeland. Can't we just kidnap this motherfucker? Like, we got. I'm serious. Like, kidnap this nigga. Like, yo, bro. Like, yo, does Venezuela even have like some like, yo? NYPD probably could beat up Venezuela like militarily. Like, come on, like we can't kidnap this guy. Like, sending a couple of dudes, a couple of spies, some of these black ops dudes. Yo, kidnap this fuck nigga, put him in court, and give him the El Chapo treatment. Lock him in. You know what I mean? Lock him in.
I think that's what they're trying to do now, bro. I think literally that's what they're trying to do now. I just heard someone high ranking in his government just got assassinated. So from what I understand, we do got boots on the ground. We actually got special forces on the ground in Venezuela doing this.
Okay.
Obviously, information's coming. You know how it goes. Whenever something's popping off, information's going crazy. You're hearing this, you're hearing that. But at least right now, from what I've heard, the most recent is we got boots on the ground. We got some SF guys in there. They're invading. They're doing airstrikes while simultaneously probably doing a ground assault. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't have all of his higher ranking members in his cabinet identified where they live, whether they assassinate them, kidnap them, or whatever. But yeah.
Wait, you think you would assassinate them?
Yeah, they would. Yeah, because remember, he's looking at he's looking at these guys as like enemy combatants.
Wait, but we haven't certified, like, you know, well, I guess we're calling him a dictator or whatever, but he's not like, I guess he's indicted, but we're not looking at him as like one of the persona non grata, so to speak, right? Like,
well,
him
I'll
and
put it
his
to you this,
captain,
bro.
right?
He has the biggest bounty. He has a bigger bounty than Bin Laden did, bro.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, let me look at how much they, I think it was something crazy like 50 million or some shit. Let me look at Maduro bounty. Bro, they want him, they literally put a bigger bounty on him, and they just increased it not too long ago. So U.S. Department of State has him right now for, is it 25 million? Yeah, after initial offer award of up to 15 million, yeah. On January 10, 2025, they increased the award to 25 million, bro. And then on August 7, 2025, the department announced a further increase in the award to 50 million. So 50 million right now, as of August 7th.
Okay, so when I'm scrolling, I'm reading the news, it says the CIA dropped bombs. Like, I've never heard the CIA dropping bombs. Obviously, maybe I'm just not familiar with how to get down. I thought they were covert intelligence. I didn't know that they're just like, yo, fuck it, bomb them.
Yeah, I mean, well, the thing is with the CIA is the CIA, their job is to collect intelligence on foreign adversaries. So, you know, there's no doubt in my mind that the CIA, alongside the NSA and the DIA, Defense Intelligence Agency, all these different intelligence communities were absolutely collecting information, not just on him, but probably on all of his close allies to figure out where they're at and you know, get him picked up, because this is what the CIA specializes in, is assassinating, running coups, etc. Right now, Iran is having protests all over Iran. The Mossad and the CIA are absolutely setting that up because, you know, the best thing that you could do is set up what they call a color revolution or a coup, and this is how you're able to destabilize and dethrone governments and get the regime change, which is what they're trying to do in both Iran and in Venezuela.
Hey, so this reminded me of another situation, and I think we had wanted a president for drug trafficking. I think he did get locked up. The Honduras president.
Yeah, he did. He got a pardon, though.
And they got pardoned. Do you see this resulting in something like that, where eventually we got this fuck nigga over here like locked up 23-1, and then, you know, basically once we get the regime change, we kind of let him out, but basically he's finished. He's washed after that. It's not like we want to necessarily kill him. We just need him out of power.
Apparently they just captured him. I heard literally just now they just captured
right
him
now?
and his wife.
Yo, come on, man. Yo, I'm telling you, yo, 15 bitches from the shade room could have went down and took over Venezuela, man. Come on, man. We should have captured him, man. Like, come on, man. Yo, okay, so they captured him. Do you think they're bringing him back to the United States?
Yeah, 100%. They're gonna bring him back to face the criminal charges.
Yo, ain't this like bullying a little bit? Yo, Venezuela, these dudes probably got like rocks in their pockets. They got like, you know what I mean, like slingshots. Like, these guys ain't got nothing going on. Yo, this dude was dancing merengue. I was watching to see what he on. I seen one gun, 5 soldiers. Like, come on, man. Yo, pass me the gun. Like, come on, what they got going on over there?
Yeah, he was arming all of his civilians too, but I guess that didn't work out, man. They got him in there quick. The 2.5 hour war, it looks like niggas got him already.
Shit, you know, drop a bomb, destabilize the whole thing. Wait, so this is breaking news. They caught this guy.
That's what I'm hearing right now, is that they just captured him. I'm gonna look on Twitter right now, but that's what it's looking like, is that he just got captured. At least people in my chat are putting that, because I literally just went live now. Okay.
Is Sky News credible? It says, breaking, the U.S. has captured the Venezuela leader.
Yep, Trump just put it out. He just put it out. The United States of America successfully carried out a large-scale strike against Venezuela and its leader, President Nicolas Maduro, who has been, along with his wife, captured and flown out of the country. This operation was done in conjunction with U.S. law enforcement. Details to follow. There'll be a news conference later today at 11 a.m. at Mar-a-Lago. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald Trump. So, they got him. So,
yo, are we like some bullies? Yo, we basically fucked them up. Before people went to sleep, they gonna wake up and be like, yeah, we fucked them up like in 2 hours. We captured their president. Yeah, they'll never be the same again. So, Jesus, that's kind of crazy, huh?
Yeah, no, they did it. That's the quickest conflict I've seen. But they definitely they knew where he was at. You know, the intelligence agencies are very good, man. They know exactly where the dude was at. They attacked, saw how we would move, and probably just picked him up right then and there. So he's already out the country.
Okay, how does that do with the relationship between countries, right? Because like we literally have now grabbed one of their leaders, whether we recognize him or not. where we've taken them out of their country, and I guess they're going to be going through our court of law and in our jurisdiction. But how do
that when basically we just told them, fuck you, we not only dropped bombs on you, we've taken your leader. How could they even have civil conversations with us in good faith, seeing the fact that we just bullied the scene and just basically Venezuela's going to be like Ukraine. We're going to put a puppet, leader in there, that Machado chick that lost the election. She's far more favorable to U.S. foreign interests as well as Israel. And they're going to put her in power, and she's going to be running things, and we're going to have access to their oil reserves, and that's what's going to happen. And that's what I predict is going to be the next step here. She's going to come out hiding, because she's been in hiding ever since she lost the election, and she's going to get put in power because she's far more friendly to Western interests than Maduro was. Hey, I gotta be honest, man. Venezuela let me down, but this is pathetic. 2 hours, at least the dudes in O Block. The dudes in O Block at least was like, listen, they send the feds here, we gonna put up a little bit of resistance. 2 hours, the whole shit is over. This is crazy. This is crazy. It's like, that's crazy. That is, man. I mean, Trump don't get Mar-a-Lago anymore. He don't even have the decency to say, I'm gonna address this from the Oval Office. I'm at my vacation spot sipping mimosas. We're gonna tell you how we just took over Venezuela, man. Hey, important question. Yeah. Do you think the passport bro economy's fucked up? Because I heard Venezuela was one of the spots too. That's where Colombia, that's where the passport bros was still going to get their shit right. Now that we bombed the fuck out of them, took their leader, do you think that, would you advise an American to go anywhere in that region right now to fucking vacation? Venezuela, definitely not. I mean, your money will go far, but I would not suggest people go over there. A lot of people leave Colombia too now, bro. A lot of people are getting out of that regime. Why? Because the thing is like, the secret's kind of out. So, like, 10, 15 years ago, nobody knew about Colombia and going there, right? Like, it was kind of a best-kept secret in the dating world. But now everybody knows. So, like, a lot of these guys are like, yo, there's too many expatriates here, it's messing things up. I'm out of here. So they're going to other places. They're going to Southeast Asia. They're going to Eastern Europe. They're getting up out of Colombia, bro. Colombia's, infested right now with weirdo sex tours. Yeah, wow. I can't believe we've literally just witnessed the quickest. I was worried about like this being like a long-scale war, but I was like, what the hell? Like, these guys don't got their going on. Yeah, I mean, if we could bully Venezuela like this, why don't we go over there to the Middle East and we start waving that big dick around? Like, yo, listen, you motherfuckers over there in Palestine and you motherfuckers over there in Israel, both you sit your bitch ass down. This was gonna go on. The U.S. is saying this, and you both gonna live with it, or else we gonna beat both y'all asses. Why would we do that? I wish we did that, bro, especially with Israel, but we don't, because unfortunately they have an enormous amount of power and sway within our political structure. And the thing is that in order for you to get into any seat of office of real consequence in the United States, you have to play the game with the Zionist lobby. You know what I mean? They literally own the government, and people don't like hearing that. But it's the truth. They run our foreign policy, they run our politicians, and they donate quite a bit of money and ensure that. And this is a bipartisan problem, both on the Republican and the Democrat side. I'm looking. So we didn't bomb civilians, right? They said it was military structures that they bombed, strategic locations, but we won't know until all the dust settles. Jesus. Yo. Isn't here just Trump loved like announcing shit hella early? Like, I was just watching him talk about the strikes. He was like, yeah, we're conducting an operation right now. And we're like, what the hell? Like, ain't this supposed to be secret? We're conducting a secret operation. I think we just blew up. Wait, hold on, what? Oh yeah, they just told me. He seems like he's always willing to he's media first. Like, he likes to bring these details to light because obviously it does make him look effective because like 2 hours is pretty dope. But it feels like that might compromise what we got going on, man. This guy loves making announcements. Yeah, he does, bro. He does. And did you see the tweet where he's like, yeah, we're in the secret mission right now? Bro, that's why he got in trouble with the whole Mar-a-Lago. If you remember, they raided his house like 2-3 years ago. They found all those classified documents, man. Like, this nigga loves to brag about that shit. Like, it's a little crazy, you know? Oh shit. Yeah. That's crazy, man. Yeah, like, one of the things they jammed him up on, bro. And that's what I'm saying. Like, yo, if he didn't win the presidency, he would have 100% went to jail because they had debt to rights on that federal case on the documents, bro. Because one of the documents that he had, it's called National Defense Information, or NDI. NDI documents, it doesn't matter what the classification is. You can't have that shit in an unsecured area. Not only did bro have that stuff in unsecured areas and all across Mar-a-Lago, he talked with like a reporter or a woman or something like that about some of the information that was in this NDI document that had to do with like Iran. And they had that recorded. Like, they literally had that recorded in the evidence. So if he had not won the presidency on this last go-round, bro, he would have 100% went to jail for espionage. No doubt in my mind about it. Because they got you debt to rights when they got you on 18 U.S.C. 793, which is like the Espionage Act. They had him, bro. Debt to rights. Doesn't matter. Oh, well, you could declassify the documents. That's irrelevant. If it's national defense information, it cooked. Can't have it. Hey, you think we're about to go on a generational run of just bullying like these countries? Isn't Iran next? We about to Iran is next, bro. Iran is next, and I don't like it. Because what they got over there? They got some oil? And by the way, yo, wait, it's legal for us to be like, yo, y'all got some oil, we gonna fuck you up to get it? So with Iran, right, we're attacking Iran more for Israel, right? Like, and I can kind of go, you want me to kind of explain it from the beginning for your audience? I know it might be, some of them might not be familiar. Break it down simply. Why we got beef with Iran? They got weapons of mass destruction yet? Okay, so I'll go through this. So here's the thing. So we can talk about that too. So when it comes to Iran, right, Israel has been trying to get a war with Iran for the better part of 30 to 40 years. Netanyahu has been running around saying that they're 3 weeks away from a nuclear bomb for decades now at this point. And the big reason why we have such a problem with Iran is because of Israel. Israel understands that Iran is the only power really in the Middle East that can, that can fight back. And they're really the only thing standing in between them and a complete hegemony in the Middle East. So they've been trying to destabilize and get regime change in Iran for a very long time. And they've been using the ruse of, oh, they got nuclear weapons. Well, we know that they haven't been able to, they've been enriching at a higher level, right? It's almost a weapons grade, but they've never actually gotten to that point. But the Israelis don't like them being there and having this ballistic missile program and this nuclear program, etc. And we were in a deal with them called the JCPOA, also known as the nuclear deal. And this nuclear deal was something that Obama set up back in 2015, where we would be monitoring, us and the international community for that matter, and IAEA, we would be monitoring their nuclear program in exchange for them making sure that it stays at a civilian level, enriching at a very low level percentage, as well. And we would remove the sanctions because Iran has very crippling sanctions right now. They can't sell their oil to certain countries, and they lose a lot of money doing that because they also have a lot of oil. So that was a deal that Obama put in place in 2015, which I think was one of the better things of his presidency because it ensured some kind of stabilization in the Middle East. Once Trump came in 2016. He pulled us out of the nuclear deal at a lot of pressure from the Zionist lobby because the Zionist lobby in Israel does not want Iran existing the way that it is at all. They don't care if they got a nuclear program or not. They just don't want them there because they have a very competent ballistic missile program, right? So what ended up happening was when October 7th happened, right? Israel used October 7th, right? Because Hamas is backed by Iran. Israel used October 7th as a justification to not just wage war in Gaza, but also to wage war in Lebanon against Hezbollah, wage war against the Houthis down in Yemen, and also begin the toppling of the Syria Bashar al-Assad regime. And then once all of that was done, once they destabilized Hezbollah, they destroyed Hamas, they hurt the Houthis, and they were able to get Bashar al-Assad out of there. 12-day war. They did Operation Rising Lion. It was a sneak attack. It was like their Pearl Harbor. They destroyed a bunch of their air defense. They killed a bunch of their generals. They killed a bunch of their nuclear scientists. And they were hoping that would create impetus for the people to rise up, right, and overthrow the government. That's what they wanted. It didn't work. It actually it backfired. It created an opposite effect. It made them rally around the flag, and they took to the streets and said, fuck Israel, go and attack Israel. And the reason why this is so important is because for many decades in Iran, there's been a lot of rift in the government between the conservatives and the reformists. The reformists are like our level of Democrats, or sorry, our functional equivalent of like progressives as Democrats. They want more business with the West so that we can relieve the sanctions, versus the conservatives don't trust the West. And when Israel attacked them, we were in the middle of negotiating with them for the Iran deal. We were literally in the middle of a nuclear deal with them. Like Steve Witkoff had planned to meet them in Qatar like that Sunday. We bombed them on Israel bombed them on like Thursday or Friday, right? So they got caught with their pants down completely. So Israel attacks them, kills these generals, kills these scientists. Iran's operating at blind for like 24 hours. After that, Iran fought back, and they shot a bunch of ballistic missiles into many different strategic areas all across Israel, Tel Aviv, Haifa, and shit. And now this is where the mainstream media didn't tell the truth on this. Iran absolutely fucked Israel up. Now the mainstream media doesn't want to report that because Israel's a glass cannon, right? They like to dish out the damage, but they can't necessarily take it back themselves. So what are you looking for? Are you looking for Iran or Tehran? Or I'm looking at you.
So like anytime I try to understand some of these geopolitical or feuds on like a national on a global stage, using a map always helps. Like, yeah, I completely understand the feud between Russia and Ukraine. Yo, you're right next door to us. You're not gonna be fucking with all our ops and welcome them there. That they can use you against us if it ever goes left.
Yeah, and if you want,
that makes complete sense. Now I'm looking at like Israel. First, I didn't know Israel was this small. Yeah, Israel it's you have Jordan, Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, then Iran. So Iran's like power in the region comes from what? And why are they a threat?
Yeah, sure. Do you want me to? Okay, because I can go into Discord, bro, and I can open up my map and I can explain all this because I agree. Showing that visually is gonna matter. It's gonna mean a lot. It's gonna make a lot more sense. Because I gotta explain the axis of resistance to your audience real quick. How do I'm in the call with you. Is there a way that I can share screen or something?
Yeah.
I gotta turn on my camera, right?
You don't gotta turn camera on. You just gotta hit the share screen button.
Oh, okay. Let me go ahead and pull up a Middle Eastern map right here. Because this will make way more sense.
And also, I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like, I mean, obviously, I do kind of, on my spare time, I like listen to conversations about this stuff, but I'm definitely not no expert.
Yeah, no worries.
I'm kind of more like the average person about it, and usually what I believe the average American says, why the fuck do we care about anything that's going on in the fucking Middle East? Like, yo, why, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, yo, let's care about what's going on in Milwaukee. Like, why the hell we care about what's going on? Like, yo, most of us will never go to these places.
No, I totally understand, but I'll tell you why we care about it. We care about it because the Zionist lobby cares about it. That's a big reason why. So can you see my screen right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me first explain what the axis of resistance is. The axis of resistance is basically, it's a formation between hostile countries that dislike Israel's presence in the region. Right? You got Iran right here, who basically run and fund it. You got components of Iraq. You got obviously Syria under the Bashar al-Assad regime. You got Lebanon.
Wait, we gotta slow down. So again, we're just not from that region. So again, I don't understand. So Iran is the big dog out there.
Yeah, they're the ones.
Why is always Iraq? Because maybe it's from I was a little kid. When I heard the word Iraq, I heard terrorists. What do you mean? Yeah, so like we always just heard like, yo, these where the terrorists live. You know what I mean? So is Iran like they got the bread? But I always looked at Iraq as broke. Like these guys don't got nothing. Maybe they got some oil some places, but they really got them. So you're saying in that region, who's the U.S. or not? Comparatively speaking, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody marches on their program.
Yeah. So obviously Saudi Arabia and all these Gulf states are very powerful too. But when it comes to average
they don't get any type of wars, right? So
exactly. Yeah. So if we're gonna talk about like ops, like for like the West, so to speak, like with Israel, it's Iran. They are the big dog. They're the ones that fund the axis of resistance. So okay. So
go ahead.
Okay. So Iran basically runs the shit. What Iran did actually is a very smart strategy. They understand that they're outgunned by Israel and the United States. So what they basically did was they created almost like a proxy where they have militias in Iraq. They got the Bashar al-Assad regime who just got destabilized. Then they got the Hezbollah in Lebanon, and then obviously they got Hamas right here in Gaza, right? And then they have the Houthis down here.
Wait, so basically they have people all surrounded
precisely
surrounded Israel. Hold on, I know for people in my chat, I know we usually don't we stay cultural, but we gotta learn some new shit, every once in a while. Okay, and I'm trying to get you guys to understand some of this stuff on the most basic level. So, okay, cool. What is the beef with Iran and Israel?
So the beef with them has been going on for a very long time, and one of the big reasons why Israel dislikes Iran is because Iran is really the last country in the region that stands between them and hegemony and basically running this thing because they're the only nuclear power in the region.
What's hegemony?
Basically they want to be the top country in the region, most powerful country in the region.
Okay, I'm gonna ask some questions that might come across as simple, but
No worries, bro. There's no stupid question, bro. At all.
Okay, I'm looking at your map, and when looking at your map, Israel looks like the smallest of all of these countries with a lot of land. Why doesn't Israel kind of just expand? Or, like, if you're this powerful but you're small, maybe you need to start occupying more territory to gain more space. I think one of the advantages that the United States has is that we have this huge landmass where we get to, like, hedge that in, like, the whole, North America, I don't want to call it peninsula, but, like, that whole continent, we kind of get to, we're huge.
Yeah, we're in our own space.
Small.
Yeah, so what Israel's trying to do, actually, it's interesting that you mentioned that. Israel's trying to expand. They're trying to, they're always
Jordan. They should take over Jordan and Lebanon.
Well, here's the thing. We actually pay Jordan and Egypt a lot of money to play nice with the Israelis. Israel's like the number one recipient of aid. Egypt and Jordan are not far behind, and we pay them to play nice because obviously Egypt is to Israel south and Jordan to the east. So we pay them a lot of money to be allies with Israel and play nice. Now, with that said, Israel is trying to expand. They absolutely want to expand. They want to take the Golan Heights. They want to go into southern Lebanon, and they want to basically, push their Greater Israel project. Now, they'll deny this, right? Anytime you ask them officially, but they absolutely want to expand the country as much as they can and take over so that they can basically secure their position in the region. Because keep in mind that Israel's a relatively new country. It was created in 1948. So yeah, and none of these Arab countries want them there.
Okay, good. All right, and I do have one question too. Cyprus dope. It looks like they got it's a nice island. Is the beach around it? You see Cyprus right
Yeah, it's a nice area, man.
Is it like a cool country? Like who they down with? Cause I would never go to the Middle East. I'm like, yo, I like beaches. I like fly shit. Like I ain't trying to go over here y'all bombing each other. I'm not going nowhere with the bombs drop.
Yeah, but you gotta stay here in the Gulf. UAE, Qatar, these are safe places you can go. Oman. But all this area here, you wanna stay away from that shit, bro.
Okay, so the next question becomes, this ain't like the olden times, I'm guessing, right? This ain't no Christopher Columbus shit. Like you show up and you be like, yo, is this India? Nah, this is America. You be like, yo, all y'all Native Americans, get the fuck out of here. This is our spot now. How do you take over regions these days?
With Israel?
What's the proper way? So if Israel's trying to expand,
yeah.
Like I'm pretty sure if they say we're gonna just own Lebanon, people will be like, yo, no, the fuck you aren't. So like, how do you do that?
So they tried that actually at the end of 2024. So I'll explain. So as you you guys know, October 7 happened, right? And Israel was beginning a ground campaign in Gaza. They started doing airstrikes and they started a ground campaign. While this was happening, right, this is why like the Action Resistance really had their boots on their neck for a while. Hezbollah was shooting rockets into northern Israel, in the Haifa area, right? And as they were shooting rockets into northern Israel right here, Israel had to evacuate like 60,000 people, right? So they're getting hit with rockets down here, and then on top of that, the Houthis were sending rockets all the way from Yemen into Israel. So they were getting hit not just from the Gaza Strip, but they were getting hit from the Houthis in the south, and then the Hezbollah in the north of Lebanon. So what Israel did was, after they concluded their on-ground campaign, and they took over Rafah, and they killed a guy named Yahya Sinwar in October of 2024, right? They kind of began, or as they were wrapping up, so to speak, they began a ground assault in November. Well, I think they started in September. They started September with the pager attack, where they blew up a bunch of pagers all across Lebanon, and they also started a ground assault into southern Lebanon.
Not familiar with that. Hey, by the way, I also just Googled, right? So, again, I know you're on stream too, so I know your audience price is way more advanced.
Nah, you good, bro.
But yo,